This video will show how to profit from the volatile GDP data. GDP is known as Gross Domestic Product. Basically, it's a very important piece of economic data that comes out and affects a country's currency. Basically, next to non-farm payrolls, it's probably the most important piece of economic data out there which affects a currency. There are many ways of profiting from trading GDP data. One example is just by being, and most probably the best example, is by just quickly reacting to this news. And the way to do that is if you have a squawk feed, or if you just find the news out from a website very quickly, then you can profit from this data. A recent example of this, we have a 15-minute USD Canadian dollar chart. This is a 15-minute chart, and this is on the 30th of April. On the 30th of April, the Canadian data came out at 1:30. We can look at this Forex Factory page here, and as you can see there at 1:30 PM UK time, GDP month-on-month figure. Okay, this is what always is, always month versus the month. So this month versus the previous month's data. And you want to look at the forecast column. It was forecast to be at 0.2%. And it's all about looking at the forecast and what the actual number is. Don't worry too much about the previous number. Just focus on the forecasted number and the number that comes out. So for the 30th of April, on this particular piece of data, it was forecast to be 0.2%. So GDP was forecast to increase 0.2% on the previous month. The data came out at minus 0.2%, so a very weak number here, okay? This shows a contraction in the GDP. So this is where it's very weak for the Canadian dollar. So let's go back to the chart. If you were trading USD CAD, what you would have wanted to do is to go long USD CAD, so to buy USD CAD, because the US dollar is going to be getting much stronger over the Canadian dollar, and vice versa. The Canadian dollar is getting much weaker against the US dollar. So this data came out at 1:30, which is around this candlestick here. I'll just show you quickly. I'll just highlight this for you. This was the candle that came out here around 1:30. As you can see now, you could have even waited for this 15-minute candle to close, and then you could have bought, and you could have made plenty of pips up here. So that's one way to do, just to wait for the news to come out. Don't speculate beforehand, because as you can see, you can lose a lot of money. The best thing to do is to wait for the data out and be very quick. If you're very quick and if you're good at reacting to the news, then you can make a lot of pips and a lot of profits. For example, if you'd have bought just after this candle, the price would have been 0.9820, and it went all the way up to 0.9895. So you could have made 75 pips here in around 2 to 3 hours. So a very good trade that you could have done, and that's all on just trading based on GDP data. Hope you found this video very useful. Make sure that you look at the non-farm payrolls video, as it's very similar, but you have to be much more careful. Okay, thank you.